The whole situation kicks off with some intense visuals, showing how a powerful stone messes with anyone who touches it. We see Nayrel in a rough spot, trying to buy more time with ancient scrolls, but it is clear she is running out of options against a mysterious, powerful entity. Nayrel finds herself in a mental battle, trapped in her own mind with this dark presence. It is a total mind game, where dreams become nightmares filled with twisted horrors. She is looking for a weakness, anything to fight back, and discovers her enemy's greatest fear, flipping the script. We are now in a city where everyone is simping for this prophet named Akarat, who is promising a new age. The main character runs into Lorath, an old friend who is not buying the hype. The vibe is tense, with Akarat's followers giving off major cult energy. Lorath delivers some heavy news. Nayrel sent letters before she died, and one is for the player. It is a super emotional moment, a thank you note from beyond the grave. Her final words are all about hope, which hits hard knowing she is gone. The feels are real. Inside an old archive, the grim reality sets in. Nayrel is dead, and Mephisto got to her. Lorath is processing his grief, and it is the player's turn to say goodbye. The mission becomes clear. Finish what Nayrel started, and make Mephisto pay for what he did. Going through Nayrel's research, they find out she was tracking Mephisto, who was heading to the Skovos Isles. She believed a weapon created by Lilith is hidden there, something powerful enough to stop him. This is the big lead they have been looking for, a breadcrumb trail left by their fallen friend. The journey continues, but the atmosphere is heavy. The Tree of Whispers is yapping in Lorath's ear, making him paranoid. He gives the player a protective talisman he originally made for Nayrel, a small token of hope for the dark road ahead. It is a small gesture that means everything right now. On the docks, the Akarat hype is out of control. Mephisto is not just using magic, he is performing actual miracles to win people over, playing the part of a benevolent prophet. Lorath is worried because this is not just mind control, it is genuine belief, which is way harder to fight against. On the ship to Skovos, Lorath reveals he has a connection with the Amazon Queen, Adriana. He is hoping she will help them find Lilith's weapon. It is a long shot since they have not seen each other in years. But in their line of work, you take any advantage you can get. The sea voyage gets chaotic when the ship is attacked by sea monsters. It is a full-on battle on deck, with creatures crawling up from the depths. The crew is in panic mode, but the player and Lorath have to step up and clear the way to keep the ship from sinking. Hi there. If you want to enjoy more gaming lore without grinding for 60 hours, hit that subscribe button. I do the grinding so you don't have to. Your support really helps the channel. The preacher from the docks turns out to be one of Mephisto's goons, and he is on the ship. He starts a ritual, sacrificing himself to summon a massive demon. It is a final, desperate act to sink the ship and stop the heroes from reaching Skovos. Things just went from bad to worse. After dealing with the demon, it is clear Mephisto knows they are coming for him. His followers are not just mindless sheep, they are organized and dangerous. With the ship damaged, the crew has to work fast to make repairs before they reach the Isles, because a storm is definitely brewing. Arriving in Skovos, they find the locals are not thrilled about the influx of Akarat's followers. Queen Adriana is welcoming the prophet, which Lorath finds suspicious. He decides to find her and warn her, while the player is tasked with gathering intel on Mephisto's plans by observing his followers. Queen Adriana is in a tough spot. She is dealing with famines and wars, and this Prophet Akarat seems like a potential answer to her prayers. Her advisors are skeptical, but a part of her wants to believe. The political situation is complicated, and Mephisto is playing it perfectly. The player follows one of Mephisto's servants through the city, leading to a major fight sequence. It is a classic chase that ends in a brawl, revealing just how deep the corruption goes. Every corner of the city seems to have been touched by Mephisto's influence, making it a hostile environment. The chase was a setup, a trap to lure the player in. It becomes clear that Mephisto has been playing chess, not checkers, setting up pieces all over the city. The player has to fight their way through more of his servants, who are performing some kind of dark ritual to ascend. The scene is set for a public ceremony where Queen Adriana will formally welcome Akarat. He presents himself as a humble pilgrim, but the tension is thick. This is a pivotal moment where Mephisto's influence could solidify, and the fate of Skovos hangs in the balance. Lorath crashes the party, trying to expose Akarat as the demon Mephisto, but Mephisto, with his perfect prophet persona, turns the tables. He frames Lorath as a violent madman, and in the chaos, Lorath accidentally strikes Adriana, playing right into Mephisto's hands and making himself a public enemy. Now branded as villains, the heroes are on the run. Mephisto's plan worked flawlessly, turning the entire city against them. Lorath is spiraling, consumed by guilt and confusion. The mission just got infinitely harder, with time running out and very few allies left to turn to for any help. While traveling through the wilderness, they discover a patrol of Amazon soldiers has been wiped out. It is a brutal scene, and it is clear that the local wildlife, or something worse, has been agitated. The danger is not just in the cities. The entire island is on edge. They finally reach the Oracle, who has been having visions of the player dying in 100 different ways. She reveals that to find Lilith's weapon, they need to use the sightless eye not on her, but on the player. The demon blood within them holds the key, meaning they have to wake up Lilith. The Oracle prepares a ritual to open a doorway into the player's soul, where Lilith's spirit lurks. Lorath is super against it, worried about the risks, but it is their only option. The player has to be strong, hold their ground, and come back in one piece. Inside their own soul, the player confronts Lilith's spirit. She is not exactly happy to see them, still bitter about their last encounter. The player has to convince her to help fight her father, Mephisto, by appealing to her connection to Skovos, the home she created. The ritual is interrupted by an attack from the Magus, Mephisto's personal guards. It seems like waking up Lilith really got his attention. They have to fight off the demons and light signal fires to warn the queen, turning the spiritual quest into a very real, very urgent battle for survival. With the immediate threat handled, Lorath encourages the player to go back and press Lilith for more information. She is holding back, and they need to know what she knows about her father's plans for the pools of creation. The mind games are not over yet. They are just getting started. The Magus are launching a full-scale assault to prevent the player from communing with Lilith again. Mephisto is clearly scared of what his daughter might reveal. The heroes have to fight through his forces and destroy the ritual site to cut off the demon reinforcements. Back in the mind realm, Lilith finally opens up. She reveals she forged a weapon for her son, Rathma, from her own bone. He rejected it, but it has the power to end Mephisto's reign for good. The weapon is their only hope, and now they know what they are looking for. The weapon does more than just kill. It can banish Mephisto to the void, the same place Lilith was imprisoned. This would break the cycle of his rebirth, a permanent solution. However, there is a catch. The blade was shattered, and they will have to find the pieces to reforge it. Lilith believes Rathma would have left the pieces of the blade in the Temple of Life. Just as she is about to give more information, she senses Mephisto's presence. The bond between them is a double-edged sword, and now Mephisto knows they are getting closer to his ultimate defeat. They arrive at the Temple of Life only to find it overgrown with corrupted, poisonous brambles. This is Mephisto's work, a defensive measure to keep them away from the blade. The forest itself has been twisted into a weapon against them, a living mockery of nature. Inside the temple, they meet an Amazon captain, the sole survivor of her unit. She is initially hostile, having witnessed Lorath's attack on the queen. They have to prove themselves by helping her secure the temple, turning a potential enemy into a reluctant ally through their actions, not words. After clearing the temple grounds, they learn that Mephisto's followers, the Hands of Akarat, were here. They were after something in the archives, likely information about Lilith's blade. The heroes have to get into the archives to find out what they were looking for and stay one step ahead. Inside the archives, they find that all the texts about the blade have been destroyed. But Lilith senses a lingering piece of her son, Rathma. They uncover a hidden passage he left behind, a secret path for those who knew where to look, leading them deeper into the mystery. In a hidden chamber, they meet an echo of Rathma, a stone guardian containing his memories. He warns them against their quest, explaining that Lilith's power corrupts everything it touches. He broke the blade to prevent anyone from becoming her instrument, presenting a moral dilemma for the heroes. Despite Rathma's warnings, the player proves their strength and worthiness to wield the blade. The echo of Rathma relents and gives them clues to the locations of the 3 shattered fragments, setting them on a new quest across the land to reforge the weapon that could save everyone. With the Amazon captain now convinced, she agrees to help them find Rathma's old home in the Linder Forest, where the first blade fragment is hidden. Her trust was hard-won, but now they have a valuable ally who knows the land and can guide them through its dangers. In the forest, they are ambushed by more of Mephisto's servants. Mephisto's voice echoes through the trees, mocking them. This confirms the captain's suspicions as she finally hears the Lord of Hatred's voice for herself. There is no denying the truth now. Akarat is a lie. They find the hilt of the blade, but it is a trap. One of Mephisto's lieutenants appears, and the Amazon captain stays behind to fight him, allowing the player and Lorath to escape with the fragment. It is a sacrifice to ensure the mission's success, buying them precious time. After the escape, Mephisto begins to speak directly inside the player's head. The connection through Lilith is getting stronger, and he is using it to mess with them. He warns that Lilith is the real danger, claiming she is using the player and will ultimately betray them. The player confronts Lilith about Mephisto's mind games. She admits that her bond with her father now connects him to the player, allowing him to worm his way into their soul. She has been holding him back, but she has also been using the connection to spy on him. Lilith shows the player Mephisto's memories of Travincal, where he manipulated the Zakharum church and turned them into a self-destructive cult of hatred. It is a history lesson in his methods, showing how he preys on faith and twists it into a weapon. He is doing the exact same thing in Skoslin. They delve deeper into Mephisto's memories and find a shocking secret. He held Inarius captive in hell for centuries. This was Inarius's punishment for creating Sanctuary. Mephisto tortured him, not just physically, but mentally, prying secrets from him about the world he helped create. The biggest secret Inarius gave up was the existence of the pools of creation, the very source of humanity's life and nature. This is what Mephisto is after. He plans to corrupt the pools, which would taint the very essence of humanity, turning them all into his followers. The vision of Mephisto's plan is horrifying. He is not forcing anyone, he is simply suggesting they bathe in the pools for salvation, and they are doing it willingly. This is his ultimate gift to Lilith, showing her that her creation, humanity, is weak, gullible, and easily corrupted. They arrive on the island of Ataluren, searching for the second piece of the blade, only to find it overrun by the drowned. The Amazon Legion has been ordered to abandon the island and follow Akarat, leaving only a few defenders behind. It is another sign of Mephisto's growing influence. Lorath is found in a state of despair, having failed to convince Adriana of the truth. He feels responsible for everything that has gone wrong. Just as he is about to give up, he is visited by a vision of his old friend, Tyrael, the former Archangel of Justice, who has returned. Tyrael is back, now a mortal man. He explains that Nayrel had sent him a message, warning him of Mephisto's plans and asking him to find Lorath. His arrival is a beacon of hope, a legendary hero returning just when the world needs him most. The old squad is getting back together. Tyrael suspects Mephisto sent the drowned to the island to stop them from finding the blade piece. The key lies in the Foundering Caverns, the source of the drowned. They need to convince the remaining Amazon defenders to help them launch a counterattack on the caverns. The plan is set. They will launch a full-scale assault on the Foundering Caverns, draw out the drowned, and crush them. While the battle rages, the player will slip inside to retrieve the blade piece. It is a high-risk, high-reward strategy that requires everyone to work together. They reach the Amazon captain, Thora, just in time to help her defend a crucial bridge. After the battle, they convince her to join their cause. She agrees to gather her forces and meet them at the garrison, committing her remaining soldiers to the fight for the blade. With all the remaining Amazon forces gathered, Thora gives a rousing speech. They are disobeying their queen to defend their home, a choice that comes with great risk, but also great honor. They are ready to march on the caverns and end the drowned invasion, once and for all. The battle against the drowned is a success, but there is one last obstacle. The bridge to the caverns is destroyed, so they have to improvise, using a ballista to shoot a rope across the chasm. The player has to cross alone while the others hold the line. Inside the caverns, Mephisto himself appears, holding the blade piece. He has been enjoying the show, watching them sacrifice so much for a mere shard of bone. He summons a massive sea beast to guard the fragment, forcing the player into a final, epic boss battle for the second piece. With the second piece secured, the Amazons celebrate their victory. But there is no time to rest. The final piece is in the ruins of Aonos, and Thora decides to go there to try and talk sense into Queen Adriana. The player agrees to meet her there, setting the stage for the next chapter. In Aonos, Mephisto confronts the player publicly during one of his sermons. He exposes the fact that Lilith's spirit is inside them, turning his entire flock of followers against the player. It is a masterful move of propaganda, making the hero look like the ultimate villain in front of everyone. At the observatory, the truth about Lilith comes out, and Queen Adriana feels completely betrayed. She declares the player and their allies enemies of Skarsgård. The political situation has completely fractured, and now they have to contend with the entire Amazon nation hunting them down. The heroes regroup, now fugitives. Tyrael suspected the truth about Lilith all along, but kept it quiet, understanding the necessity of her aid. They must find the final piece of the blade, which Lorath believes is buried in the ruins of an old Colosseum nearby, a place cursed by Lilith and Inarius' ancient battle. Inside the Colosseum, echoes of the past play out, showing Lilith's final battle with Inarius, where he used the broken blade to banish her to the void. This act of betrayal left a scar on the land, cursing it forever. The final piece of the blade is here, at the site of its most devastating use. They secure the final piece of the blade, completing the weapon. With all 3 fragments, they now have what they need to defeat Mephisto. It is a moment of triumph, a tribute to Nayrel's sacrifice. The hope she gave them is finally taking a physical, world-saving form. The plan is to reforge the blade in an old Horadric vault, hidden on a volatile volcano. Tyrael reveals the vault contains a Horadric cube, a powerful artifact capable of remaking the shattered weapon. It is their best and only shot at making the blade whole again before the final confrontation. The journey up the volcano is treacherous, with rock slides and magma flows threatening their path. Tyrael uses his angelic power to create a shield, protecting them from a massive eruption. It is a reminder of who he used to be, a flash of the divine in a desperate mortal struggle. They finally reach the Horadric vault, but it is not a safe haven. The place is rigged with traps and guarded by magical constructs. It seems the ancient Horadrim were paranoid, and now the heroes have to navigate their deadly security systems to reach the cube. Nothing is ever easy. The vault's trials force them to relive moments from the Horadrim's past, showing their struggles, sacrifices, and victories. It is a journey through history, a test of their understanding of the Order's legacy. They see the weight of the responsibility they carry on their shoulders. One of the trials leads them through the workshop of Zoltund Kule, the infamous Horadrim who experimented with the Soulstones. The room is filled with his mad genius and dangerous creations. It is a glimpse into the mind of a man who blurred the line between protection and obsession. After passing all the trials, they face the vault's final guardian. It is a massive construct that requires all of them to work together. Tyrael realizes the guardian is linked to his own life force, and he must break the ward himself, allowing the player to strike the final blow. As they reforge the blade, Mephisto makes his move. He has grown too strong, and he is devouring the player's soul from the inside. Lilith reveals she is dying, and the only way to save the player is to enter their shared mind and sever the bond before Mephisto consumes them completely. In a final, desperate act, Lilith sacrifices herself. She severs the connection to Mephisto but is destroyed in the process. The player is freed from his grasp, but now they are truly alone. Lilith's final act was one of protection, a mother saving her child one last time. Emerging from the vault, they find Lorath's journal. He has been taken. They follow the trail and find Queen Adriana standing over his body. Consumed by hatred and manipulated by Mephisto, she killed Lorath, believing he was a threat. The ultimate betrayal has come to pass. Tyrael is devastated by Lorath's death, the last of his original order. He decides that while Lorath would want them to focus on the living, he must first free his friend's soul from the Tree of Whispers. They will end Mephisto, but not before honoring the fallen. The eclipse begins, and Mephisto's plan reaches its climax. His corrupted followers, including the Amazons, are in a frenzy. The heroes must fight their way to the shore, where Mephisto is about to merge with the pools of creation. The final battle is here, and all of Sanctuary is at stake. They reach the shore, but the way is blocked by Mephisto's corruption. In a moment of pure sacrifice, Tyrael uses the last of his power to tear open a path for the player, urging them to go on and finish the fight. He stays behind to hold the line, a true hero to the very end. The player confronts Mephisto at the now corrupted pools of creation. He has shed his human disguise and reveals his true, horrifying form. It is an epic showdown between a mortal hero and the Lord of Hatred, with the fate of humanity hanging in the balance. This is it. With a final desperate strike, the player stabs Mephisto with the reforged Blade of Lilith. Instead of being sent back to hell to be reborn, he is banished to the void, screaming in agony. The cycle is broken. He is gone, for good this time. A victory, hard-won and bittersweet. At the Tree of Whispers, they prepare to free Lorath's soul. Thaisa, the witch Lorath once saved, agrees to help them, defying the tree's will out of respect for her friend. It is a solemn gathering to pay their final respects and settle a long-held debt of honor. The game ends with a reflection on Lilith's legacy. She created Sanctuary, a fragile world trapped between heaven and hell, all out of a desperate hope that someone would rise to protect it. That someone was the player who stood against fate and saved the world, carrying on her defiant legacy. Gaming lore is long and confusing, but I break it down every week. Subscribe so you never miss a plot twist or hidden detail. Thanks for watching.